Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. Hawaii today is Thursday, August 17, 2017. I don't know how many of you have been with me for long enough, and I'm sure some of you have, to have heard me talk about how underneath what most people perceive as reality, there is something so dark and so ugly. And we're starting to see it manifest itself here. I've gone on shows talking about this years ago. But I think now, because of reasons I want to talk about, we're starting to really see this come to a head. Look, there is no doubt that there are those out here who have an agenda that will do anything and everything possible to keep society polarized. In other words, one group of people on one side with one group of people on the other side with no gray area whatsoever. They cannot have a gray area because that would mean there would be room for discussion. Okay? Without that, again, they win. So let's just talk about recent events here. We all understand what happened here in Charlotte. Hate groups over there, they've been around since the beginning of time. They're not ever going to stop. But when President Trump had come out and say, look, there's fault here on both sides. The hate groups were being opposed by the supposed non-hate groups, and both of these groups had weapons. Both of these groups won after each other. But again, when President Trump, I want you to think about this, tried to inject a gray area here, the mainstream media and those that are in the deep state, and I'm talking about the corporations here, they went crazy. They cannot allow a gray area to exist because that would mean dialogue. That would mean people can talk. They cannot have this. They have to have you and me on one side so we can directly oppose another with no middle ground. So the deep state, the left, they have tried everything so far to try to bring down the president. It started out with him being racist. When that was disproven, they moved on to the Russia thing. Obviously, they have waved the white flag finally. It's a fake news story. We all know that. It's common knowledge now. But it seems that this is their new thing. It's the Confederate statues. These statues have been around for a long, long time. Anybody find it interesting why now there's this uproar? They were there under the Obama administration and Bush and everybody else, but now they're a problem. I think you get it. Look, this is how they're twisting you. They're gaming us all. Now, there's an agenda under this here. Again, that is vile and ugly, and it's being manifested in their what appears to be success in getting some to again stand opposed to others. Now, a lot of this, and this is common knowledge as well. It's been reported by a lot of alternative sources. These are paid actors. A lot of this to start the strife up. Again, the mainstream media is playing right into it here. The more they talk about this, the more they can bring this to people's attention, the more polarized people will become. Again, no gray area. They cannot allow a gray area. So we saw the big exodus of these CEOs from these companies here, all part of the agenda here, all right? President Trump here, beyond any doubt, has America's interest in hand. They don't talk about how he recently pretty much averted a nuclear strike on Guam. That's not even heard of anymore. It's about the Confederate statues. It's about strife here in our country. It's unbelievable. But again, it's not real. It's being used as a tool to divide and rule. The propaganda, the outright lies, the misinformation, the distractions. And I think this is going to get worse because, look, the left is so angry that they lost the last election. They thought they had this in the bag, but the American people spoke up and said, no, we're not going to allow this to happen. People finally got wise to what's going on. Obama had it all set up. Hillary was supposed to win, and then their agenda would have been carried out. But no. Here, the American people have finally spoken up, and I hope you're going to realize that if you are on the look, don't take a side here, okay? Don't be on one side. I know I'm going to get a hate mail again, like I always do, and a lot of really ignorant comments here. But if you can understand that you're being gamed, you can understand that by taking that one side without any gray area whatsoever, they have you exactly where they want you. Well, maybe you'll start to wake up and understand that we here, all of us, we're not the problem. They're the problem, and they have an agenda that is not in your interest. It's that simple. So, with that said, I hope I'm getting through to you. If you're new here, especially you, because if you've been following this blog, I know you get it. Beyond a doubt, I love you guys and girls. You're awesome, and I can't stress this enough, and I have a sincere love for all of you, and I mean that too. I can't thank you enough for all the kind letters and the good stuff I get. I get a lot of hate stuff too, and threats as well. Whenever I put up something like this, and I've done this in the past, I get a lot of threats. That's not going to stop. There's always going to be haters out there. But it's so much deeper than that. It's about control. It's about how the deep state, they had it in their grasp here, okay? And then they lost it, and they are so angry. The market just closed. They're so angry about losing the election that I think they're going to start to go to extremes. I wouldn't be surprised if they start to incite civil war. I think that's what they're trying to do here. We'll see how all this plays out. We understand there's a terrorist attack in Barcelona today. It's putting pressure on the market. We also got, speaking of the markets, since we just heard the closing bell, we got more bad economic news today. And part of that is a distraction. The industrial output today missed the mark. They were expecting a gain. They didn't get it. Retail sales are down. Malls are closing. Stores are closing. Restaurants are closing. But apparently, I don't know who that is. Let's see. Anyway, hold on a minute. Sorry. Anyway, I hope you get the picture here. They're not allowing you to see that either. Again, as long as they can keep the airwaves full of the distractions and keep you, hating this group and this group hating you back, you're not going to pay attention to what's going on in our economy. It's that simple. So, anyway, with that said, and I'm sorry about these little distractions here, I hope this made sense to you. And we're going to see how it plays out. See you tomorrow.